That's become a complete mess. I mean, Obama and his top aides, his top advice men, don't even agree on what the outcome is going to be. There is no end game, actually. There's not been anything defined as any kind of ongoing plan. Obama and his top aides disagree over whether or not Gaddafi could stay in power or not. It's unclear who the rebels actually are and how strong that rebellion would have been if we hadn't been assisting them to begin with. To rise up against a man who's been in charge of that country for 40 years and built pretty strong infrastructure around it, despite all the negative things you could name that he's been responsible for. This is a guy that was also very helpful to our interests during the Iraq invasions. So we go in as a humanitarian move, and in the space of 2 nights we bomb over 120 military targets, mainly ground-to-air missile defence systems, preemptive strikes, preventing him to fire on incoming missiles basically and planes. We heard reports of breaking a ceasefire, but I didn't hear any details. If anybody's had details of any of the ceasefires that have apparently led to continued attacks, I'd like to hear those details because I haven't heard any. Heard brief reports of breaks in ceasefires, but I have no details. So yeah, the second round as well obviously was kind of broadened the scope of the agreement, UNSC 1973. Just broadened it very widely from a no-fly zone into effectively a no-drive zone, and again, vast majority of targets have been preemptive strikes. They have not been to prevent clear and present attacks by the Gaddafi forces on these rebels. Again, anybody with details, confirmed details of that stuff, then let me know. But yeah, humanitarian effort to help these people. But in Yemen, almost next door, there's a very much more real revolution going on, which has a high percentage of people turning against the establishment, and also has people from within the establishment of Yemen abandoning it. So a much more realistic and large-scale problem in that area. We don't go in there though. We did use Yemen to have a secret war during the time of the Iraq invasions. So we don't go into Yemen. We also don't go into Bahrain, where there's worse slaughter of people happening by security forces. We don't go into Bahrain because its security forces are assisted by Saudi Arabia, who we support. So we do turn a blind eye on recent violence again between Israel and Gaza. So all these humanitarian issues that we could be helping with that we don't, we turn to Libya. I'm finding it hard to make it add up. The Arab nations that had somewhat non-committally given their approval to this UNSC 1973, they've quite quickly started to recede on their enthusiasm for it. This 120 plus military ground-to-air military installation attacks obviously do not constitute what the Arab nations thought would be defined by a no-fly zone. So it's kind of too much. At the same time, of course, cesium is getting detected off the coast of Washington. They tell us only in tiny little amounts. It's not dangerous, not yet. But that shouldn't be happening. Japan is a far more clear and present danger to the entire fucking globe in every sense. Humanitarian aid could be directed and should be directed there. We spend billions on building instruments of destruction and use them only against states that we don't already control. Usually after having tried to infiltrate those states that are not cooperative and instigate uprisings ourselves to create division and unrest in the area, to exploit the area. I've got a special treat coming up soon on YouTube at some time in the future. Federalist Films is planning some kind of magnus opus, biggest YouTube project he's had so far. It's over 20 pages of notes, the subject of which will be yours truly. This political scientist, this ex-intern from the Department of Defense, this obvious future visionary political heavyweight, is choosing to make me the subject of his biggest ever YouTube project, disproving everything I believe, apparently. So that'll be good. I'm honoured to be the recipient of this extra attention. So look out for Operation Codename Flapjack, I think it is. Yes, where I'm expecting some interesting explanations for why the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were perfectly legal. So just don't question them, don't talk about them, don't ask about things you're not supposed to know about. They were legal, that's fine. Sort it. But anyway, back on topic, important things. Yeah, I know, I guess Vogta, you could at least play dumb, you know, about your stupid little 14-second smile video where you just pointed to a link of Riths about the no-fly zone. You obviously didn't know anything about the situation at all. You saw that be an easy video to make, get some views. Looks like it's the thing to agree with. It's not, is it? It's a complete shambles. Was never going to be anything else. They don't have a plan. They don't agree amongst themselves on what they're doing. They don't have the backing of the locals that support them to begin with. They don't know who they're helping. They don't know if they're going to let this bad guy stay in or not. They don't know where they're going next. They don't know what's happening to the left or to the right. Interventionism does not work. We are not motivated by the plights of other peoples around the world. This is not some benevolent humanitarian effort. These places that we help the people of are strategically important to us for oil, and that's it. If you think it's about anything else, you're either fucking stupid or you just don't want to open your eyes.
To the people of the country and of the world, if you